we break. Make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie. We can't wide awake.
Somebody save me. Me from myself. I've spent so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help. I'm sorry. I messed up. I didn't do what I asked all of you to do. And for that I'm sorry. This is Wood. Welcome to Mental Policing.
At least it was worth a try. At least it was worth a try. I drive from your place. Miss your lips, but I hate the taste. No fun in this.
As I said, this is Wood, and welcome to Mental Policing. That quote is from Save Me by Jelly Roll. Little different intro, and I know it's hard to guess where I'm going this week without a funny joke or wild intro, but this week I need to say I'm sorry. Week after week, I've preached that the most important thing we can do is talk and share. Because after all, a burden shared is a burden divided. That's right. Let others help. Carry the load. I promise it's worth it, no matter how difficult. But this week was a little different. There have been some things going on in my life, and while not unbearable, they've been hard. History repeats itself if you're not careful. Well, I don't want to get into the specifics. I'll give you a little bit of insight into my world. I have older kids, and I have an infant child. The oldest is 14. The youngest is a mere 6 months old. Still needs help at every turn. I do love this phase of the child's life. They light up at the sight of you, and you are their world. On the surface, they're very simple. Eat, sleep, change a diaper, and repeat it. But even with that, they hold so much potential, so much love, so much future. Before them, you didn't know how you would do it. But with them, you can't imagine your life without them. No one ever expects to lose a child, much less an infant child. Before I go on, no, I did not lose my child. She's doing just fine, and chances are she's sound asleep while this is being recorded. Not to be confused with anything here. This is my story. So no one expects to lose a child. No one expects to have to deal with that, and I will tell you, it's the hardest thing to deal with. Not just because the child is so innocent and precious, but because there's so many emotions involved with it. There are things that no one prepares you for when a child dies, even if it's not your own. One of the biggest things no one prepares you for is the sadness that you will feel telling a parent their child is gone. No one tells you of the hurt you will feel when you talk to that parent and they tell you their child has died. A death notification is one of the hardest things to do. However, I recently had the experience of receiving a death notification of a child, not my own. I had to talk on the phone with a father that had recently lost his baby, just months old. They lost their precious baby. I had to speak with that father and get a status update on that baby. As the father cried to me, a man, a provider, a rock for his house, he cried, and he told me he had to remove life support for his baby boy. I had to be his rock, his ear, his companion, his compassion. I'm a police officer. I'm stability. I'm hope when all seems lost, but I couldn't. I couldn't listen to this man with so much pain, so much lost, and tell him I understood, because I didn't. I couldn't tell him how to be okay. I was overcome by emotion, and even sitting here telling you this, I am overcome by emotion. Almost 20 years in the game, I could not be his rock. I couldn't remain strong. I was struck, I was hurt, and I was emotional. His father knew that. He knew I could feel his pain. And we sat there 60, 90 seconds and no one spoke. Two grown men, the backbone, were too emotional to talk. I broke. For the first time in my career, I was overcome, and I was hurting. I know this is because I was too closely associating it with my own life, my own child, but I couldn't help it. What would I do? How would I react? Well, I learned. But this isn't the point of this episode. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was and am emotional. I was in new territory. But what I did wrong was next. What I did next was wrong. My girl, the one that's been by my side through some of the most difficult times, the one that shares that 6-month-old baby with me, knew what I had just experienced and reached out to me. She wanted to let me know it was okay and that she was there to share in my sadness. I knew that, and I knew I should tell her. I knew that what I'd gone through needed sharing, and I needed help. I needed to cleanse myself. But I didn't. What I did was exactly what I knew I shouldn't. I clammed up, I shut down, and I withdrew. I didn't talk, I didn't share. I even went as far as not answering the phone. Now, before everybody jumps on the hay wagon, I didn't just ignore the call. I was dealing with my own issues and made the call a little bit later, but I didn't answer in that moment as I should have. And the conversation that should have happened right away took a couple of days. And this was wrong. I messed up, and I'm sorry. This wasn't healthy. This wasn't the healthy path. This wasn't the right way. And it didn't open the lines of communications, and it didn't help me feel any better. So when it was finally addressed, I was in a slightly better place. With the sadness of a parent losing a child, I was a little bit better off. But I had an opportunity to be vulnerable with my partner, to grow with her and to allow her to help me. And I didn't give her that chance. I didn't give her the chance to understand where I was coming from, and this was not okay. She didn't need the details of what happened, but she did need me to detail what was happening with me. And for this, I'm sorry. I did not do what I preach. I did not open up, and I did not talk to someone, and I was wrong. I've learned from it, but it's hard. It's hard as a man and as a police officer to show weakness. Even after all of these years and many, many tries, I still mess up. I got it wrong, and I know better. But this is the beauty of understanding. I understand I was wrong, and I understand that there is room for improvement. I believe this is where we get hung up. We don't admit we're doing anything wrong, or we don't allow ourselves to stumble. We hold ourselves to such a high standard that any deviation is a letdown. No, this is not right. It's a learning moment, and we must do just that. We must learn. We believe we are tough guys, when all we really are is a tough outer shell that needs just as much help as anybody else. So to my friends, my family, my listeners, pain sucks, it hurts, and it is hard. We can overcome it, and we are strong, but we should not do it alone. Because if we try to do it alone we will be. Lean on one another, lean on your partner, your spouse, or whomever you are closest, and allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to hurt, even cry if you need to. You will be better in the end for it. So this week, friends, I must say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't practice my own preachings, and I'm sorry I didn't allow myself to be vulnerable when it was most necessary. But I got there. I was reminded that we are human and we hurt. Most of all, I'm sorry to my partner for not allowing you to grieve with me. I will be better, and there is no one better to help me carry my burdens than you. To the family of the baby that left us, though I know you likely will not hear this, my heart truly hurts for you, and I cannot imagine the pain and suffering you are feeling at this time. I don't know why things happen the way they do, but I'll offer the same advice to anyone listening: to talk to someone. Share your burden so we can help carry such a tremendous pain. You are not alone. Friends, family, and anyone else listening, you are not alone. You need to open up. You need to be vulnerable because you need to be human. So be it. I'm learning, and I will be better. So this is Wood. Thank you for allowing me to struggle. I will see you on the next one.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time. You say at least it was worth the try.